So, welcome to Chapter 2, Lesson 5, talking about your pro forma business plan and answering the question in sort of a general way, how much will you have to spend before you break even? So, be sure to download the Excel spreadsheet that's in the lesson plan, and you'll be able to use it for yourself and put in your own numbers as you gather them. So this is a business model, and the numbers in the model are made up by me. However, I think they approximate reality enough for planning purposes. And as you work through the course, you're going to want to revisit this spreadsheet and start adding in your own real numbers. So let's walk through this model slowly and understand more about the business of internet marketing. We are in an internet marketing pro forma statement that I've created for your use. And the beauty about this spreadsheet is that I put in a lot of variables that you can change. And as you change the variables, the numbers will change. And this allows you to take your real world experience and put it into the spreadsheet, just changing a few numbers, and you can see exactly how your business plan is going to vary. So let's just walk through this slowly so that you can understand how to work the spreadsheet. It is downloadable. You'll see the link in the text below the video. And if you're not familiar with Excel, that's okay. Just keep going back over this video and step by step following along with me, pausing the video, changing the numbers, and watching what happens on the spreadsheet that you've got on your desk. This is another reason why we'd like to have two monitors. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to just very slowly scan through the spreadsheet this is the first half and you'll see that it's month 1, month 2, month 3, and it goes all the way across to month 12, and then we have a total over here. So, and then if we were to go down, I'll go back to here. And if we were to go down, you would see that we have the revenue numbers on top. And then as we come down, we have expenses, including lead acquisition, and then some capital costs in terms of coursework that I'm going to recommend that you take. So we're going to go through this whole thing very slowly, but I just wanted to show you, while we're here, let's just go ahead and scan across. Let me come all the way down. So you can see on the assumptions I made in this model, at the end of the first year, it's going to cost you a little less than $5,000. But the second year is very different, and we'll take a look at that when we get to it. So this is why I say that this business is slow grow, and you're not going to make money right away. You can control your expenses to some degree, but if you reduce your expenses too much, you're going to grow even slower. If you've got more money to put in, then you can accelerate your growth. Okay, let's go back to the top and start working through these numbers. All right, we're going to start here with what's known as average cost per lead. And right here, this is a variable, and you see when I highlight the cell, a comment comes up. And this comment says you can increase or decrease your average cost per lead based on actual results. And I'm going to make a quick change on this for you so it's a little easier to read by expanding the comment. Oops. I'm just going to expand the comment box. There we go. So you can change this number, and changing this CPL, cost per lead, will adjust all the numbers on the page. So let's suppose that you're doing, and this is basically going to be your Facebook cost per lead. And when we get into Facebook advertising, I'll show you how you're going to figure out this number. And since we're here, there we go. All right, so what happens if you change this number? Supposing that you find that your cost per lead goes from $1.50, and you're really not doing $1.50, you're doing $2.50. So it's going to cost you an extra dollar. Watch what happens. So we enter it, and notice how the number of leads drops to 180 per month. And the net effect on your income reduces your income, and your losses now become $7,500 instead of $4,500. So you can see that something like cost per lead becomes a very critical variable that you want to watch. As a general proposition, you want to keep your cost per lead under $1.50 as much as possible. And when you take Fred Lam's course, which I'm going to strongly recommend you take when we get into lead acquisition, it's only $397. He will give you I will give you the metrics then, but basically you never want to pay more than $1.50 per lead on a Facebook lead generation campaign. And typically on the campaigns that I'm running right now, I'm under $1. Depending upon how I've targeted and who I'm targeting, it could be anywhere from 90 cents a lead all the way down to there are some cases where I've had 20 cents a lead. But when you get down to the 20 cents per lead cost per lead, you're probably working outside the United States and Canada, and the quality of the lead is probably not going to be very good, which is reflected in why Facebook charges you less money for the ads. All right, so that's your cost per lead. Now you can see that if you have this cost per lead is actually multiplied by $450. Well, you've got a $450 month ad spend, which is $15 per day, which is where I recommend that you start. Now, you may not be able to afford this, but in any Facebook budget, really don't set up a campaign for less than $15 per day. You can do less than 30 days, but not less than $15 per day, or you're not going to get good data. So what I've done is this is a budget you set with your on your Facebook ads, and if we assume that your average cost per lead is $1.50, then that's going to tell us that we're going to get 300 leads per month on average from our Facebook campaign. And these leads, these subscribers into your email list, is where the gold is, and this is where your big focus is going to be. So you can see that in this spreadsheet, the way I've got it set up is you're not going to have any leads your first month of operations, but you will start generating leads in your second month. And then this column right here, cumulative leads, we just start adding up the leads so that by the end of the first year, assuming these numbers are accurate, you're going to have 3,300 leads. That's the beginning of a pretty good sized list. Now, I will tell you that this is extremely conservative. Using Fred Lam's techniques, I started a list in late March of 2020. This is now mid-May of 2020, and my list has grown to 3,000 in a little less than 6 weeks. So it is possible to grow your list a lot faster. And I'm spending $15 a day every day on the Facebook lead gen campaign. So that's why the Fred Lam program is so fantastic. And when we get to that, I'll explain to you how to access it and take it. And that course will make money for you the day that you start using his techniques. So that's how you generate your leads. And the more leads you can the more quality leads you can generate, that is a highly targeted audience of people who are going to be interested in your offer, and we'll show you how to do that. The more targeted leads you can build at the least cost is the faster you can grow your business. All right, so let's move down here. This is commissions per subscriber per month. And basically, I like the typo there, huh? We'll just correct everything as we're going along. So when you download this, it'll all be accurate. So there are basic rules, I guess, experiential rules that internet marketers have come up with. And most people will tell you that you can expect, as you can see here, you can expect that the general rule for the value of a lead is about $1 a month. But that's only true if you have a large list. And so what I've done here is I've started out a lot more conservatively. I've said, okay, you're going to earn 40 cents per subscriber per month in the beginning. Now, if you change this number, which you can, what happens if we change this number to $1, which is the average? That's considered to be the gold standard. In other words, basically, when you get to a certain size list, you're gonna be making $1 a lead per month if you're marketing to the lead. All right, so here we just change it from 40 cents to $1. Look what happens to the numbers. All of a sudden, we made $18,000 for the first year, and we've got ourselves an $11,000 profit. So you can see that if you have a targeted list and you've done a good job list building people who are interested in what you have to offer, you can start making money pretty quickly. So this number becomes very critical, and you want to track it carefully. So I'm going to put it back to 40, so that when you download the spreadsheet, that's where it will be. And you can see at 40 cents per lead, you're going to lose money. Play around with this number and see where the break even is. It's probably going to be about, well, let's just see. Let's try it at 60. And see what happens. I haven't really messed with it since I built the spreadsheet. So if we come over here, 10,000. All right, so 60 cents is not quite break even. I'm going to guess then that it's probably, I'm not going to waste the time here, and I'll leave it at 60 cents, but it's probably 65 cents per lead is going to be your break even point. So you want to watch this number, and basically what you'll do is you'll take your monthly revenues from ClickBank or wherever you're selling, and you will then divide that by the number of leads, and that will give your commissions per subscriber per month. And of course, it's going to vary from month to month to month. And this is going to tell you the quality of your list. If you have a very low commission per subscriber per month, there are a number of things that are going on. Number one, you may not have a targeted list. Number two, you may have a targeted list, but you're not offering them, the subscribers, stuff that they want. Number three, they may not trust you because you haven't built a relationship with them. And so you've got to look at all these different things and figure out what's going on. When I first started, I sent something like 4,000 hops or clicks to John Crestani's super affiliate system, and I didn't get one sale. And what I finally realized was I wasn't sending him quality lead. I wasn't sending him quality leads. I had a crummy list. I ended up deleting the whole list. And I'd spent a couple of $1,000s building a list because they weren't sufficiently targeted and sufficiently motivated to buy what I was offering. So this is something you've just got to watch very carefully. Now, right now in May of 2020, we're in the middle of the COVID pandemic. The economy has collapsed, and people are not spending a lot of money. So this number is going to be low until the economy starts to recover, and don't expect this to be a super high number when people don't have excess money to spend on stuff on the internet. So that's your revenue stream. Now, if we come down here to expenses, I've listed all of your basic expenses. Domain name acquisition is a one-time expense, very inexpensive. You're going to buy a name like DougKnoll.com or yourname.com or yourname.biz or yourname.whatever. And it's very inexpensive, but it is an annual fee. So $15 should cover you for both getting your domain name and your SSL certificate. When we get to domains, we'll talk more about how that works. Your hosting site, your basic hosting site, which will include your WordPress site, I recommend Bluehost web hosting right now. They've got a sale going on, but typically they charge for the basic plan $8 a month. Really inexpensive and a really solid outfit. Then you're going to install WordPress, which is absolutely free, and we'll go into all the details of this when we get to that point. Then you're going to want to buy the Thrive Theme plugin, which is an extremely powerful plugin for building web pages and posts and landing pages and leads. I mean, it's an amazing system, and I'll talk about why I recommend the Thrive Theme. It has a cost of $249 per year. Then the next line down here is GetResponse. This is your email service. There are a whole bunch of email services out there. I've landed on GetResponse and used it for years, even though I've tried Aweber and MailChimp and some of these others. GetResponse is pivoted to the internet marketer, and it's a lot friendlier about email generation autoresponders, and it's got some really great automation tools that the other email services don't have. So for a pro plan, up to 10,000 subscribers at $75 a month, you can get a plan that doesn't cost this much money, but of course they lock you out of some of the features that I think are really valuable. So if you can afford it, I would put in the $75. If you can't afford it, then go with the basic plan. And if you click on the link here, you can go to GetResponse and set things up. ClickFunnels we'll talk about a lot. This is the gold standard funnels platform. I'll talk about sales funnels. If you don't know what they are, don't worry about it. We'll get to it eventually. The basic plan is $97 a month. If you buy the full outfit, it's about $349 a month, I think. And we'll talk about ClickFunnels, alternatives to ClickFunnels. But right now, for budgeting purposes, I'm going to assume you buy the basic plan, which is $97 a month. Perfect Audience is a retargeting program, a retargeting platform. And retargeting is underestimated in internet marketing. I think it's absolutely amazing. So what's retargeting? I'll go into this in more detail, but briefly, when you go to say you go to a blog or you go to a news site and you're reading an article, and all of a sudden an ad pops up, and that ad happens to be promoting something that you just looked at a day or two ago, or even a month ago. That's called retargeting. And what happens is when you go to a vendor page and you look at, say, a site for shoes, and you look at some red shoes, but you don't buy them, a cookie is placed on your browser, usually without your consent or knowledge. And when you are browsing around, if you land on a page that is part of the Perfect Audience network, the cookie will trigger an ad for those red shoes and just remind you, hey, you looked at these red shoes, do you want to buy them now? And it'll just be an ad. Now, where we're going to use Perfect Audience is in lead generation, so that what will happen is somebody will land on either your sales page or your opt-in page, and they won't opt in. By retargeting them for 30, 60, or 90 days, you can just follow them around the internet and keep reminding them, hey, you didn't opt in, you're missing the boat. And there's a whole process to this that I'll explain. The basic budget is $25 a month, so it's very inexpensive. And then finally, we have backlinking. This is for basically creating page authority on articles and blogs on your WordPress site. I'm not going to go into any details on backlinking. I'll just say that this is really an essential thing to do. The $50 is a service that I charge for 50 backlinks on a blog. And basically my rule of thumb is if I'm writing an article like a review, I'm going to do 200 backlinks. If I'm doing a blog, I'm going to do 50 backlinks. And these are basically sites that will refer back to the blog or article, and it creates what's known as page authority, which raises your Google ranking. Now, it's kind of tricky to do this because if you use bad backlinks, you will hurt yourself. But if you're careful about it and you do it slowly, you can actually really dramatically increase your page authority and your Google ranking. So we'll talk much more about all of this later on. But just assume that you're writing a blog a month and you want to backlink one blog, so it's going to be about $50 a month. Okay, now we come down to the second part of your expenses, and this is where you really have more control. This is your lead acquisition cost. And in the first year, I'm going to recommend that you just hang with Facebook advertising. I tried all kinds of stuff. I wasted a lot of money in the beginning. After I took Fred Lamb's course and learned how to do lead generation, I pretty much just limit myself now to using his system, $15 a day, and I'm just allowing a slow growth of the list, my list. And so you can see that if you're doing $15 a day, it's going to be $450 per month. You can change this number any way you want depending upon what you can afford. Obviously, up to a certain point, the more money you can spend per month, the faster you're going to grow your list. We'll get into Google ads later on and solo ads in year 2. For right now, just This is going to be your monthly cost. You can do 300. If you can't afford $300 a month, then you're going to have to go into organic lead generation. We'll talk about that. Organic lead generation is really a long-term strategy. It's very effective, but it will, instead of building a business in a year or two, it's going to take you 5 to 10 years to build your business. You can do it for no cost, no ad cost. There's nothing free. But just understand it's going to take a lot longer. All right, now we get down here, and these are courses that I'm going to be recommending that you take. The first is the copywriting course. This is Neil Medora's cost. It's on a subscription basis, $97 a month. The courses are, basically you're going to learn basic copywriting, and I'm going to talk about copywriting later on. It's going to be one of the first things that we cover after we get through the basics, because in my opinion, learning how to copyright is the fundamental skill of internet marketing. It's really the fundamental skill of any marketing, and everybody eschews copywriting. They don't know what it is. They hate doing it. It's really not difficult to do at all, but you got to learn how to do it. Then we have Time Bank GPS. This is a course by Antonio Thornton, and basically he's going to teach you how to make money by wisely managing yourself. Really worth the effort. Elite Traffic Pro. I put this in the second month, but you might want to put this off for a couple of months. But you want to definitely take this course in the first year. This is a course put together by my mentor, Igor Kafitz, on how to generate traffic and then what to do with the traffic once you get it. In other words, how do you generate powerful email campaigns? Really comprehensive, and really this is a course you have to take at some point in time. Facebook Leads Pro, this is Fred Lamb's course. The sooner you can take this course, the better. $397, super cheap as these courses go. Follow Fred's lead through the course, and you'll learn how to get your Facebook leads acquisitions down under $1 a lead. And just really simple but really sophisticated ideas. So I strongly recommend this. The Super Affiliate System I put here because some of you may want to get into really detailed training on every aspect of affiliate marketing, and this is John Crestani's course. It is absolutely phenomenal. It is the most comprehensive internet affiliate marketing course I have ever seen. I've taken it. It's 8 weeks and hundreds of videos teaching you everything you need to know about how to become an affiliate marketer, and explaining. And I'll explain what affiliate marketing is in the next couple of lessons. For $9.97, this thing is a steal, and the gross amount of money looks like a lot, but the education that you get, the knowledge you get, is phenomenal. And it's a lifetime fee. In other words, you can go back and retake the videos. And John upgrades the course every year, so I think now he's in version 4. I took version 2, I think. So he's upgrading it rapidly, and I just can't say enough about this course, and that's why I recommend it, because it is so comprehensive. And then finally, I have a little course that I put together called the Sales Optimization Course. One of the things that you will find as you take these courses is nobody talks about numbers. And just like this spreadsheet, you will not find anybody doing a spreadsheet like this. Nobody is doing quantitative analysis in internet marketing except for me. And I got really frustrated because when I got into this, I'm kind of a numbers and data-driven guy, and I couldn't figure out how to make decisions because nobody told me. Everybody said, oh, it's too difficult or it's too variable. That's just bullshit. It's like any other business, and you can make assumptions and then get some real-world experience and change your assumptions. So I built a whole course around how to make data-driven decisions. Where do you get your data? How do you analyze your data? And what decisions do you make around it? And I'm selling that course for $99, super cheap, because I want people to take it. Now here's the trick. I've got a timer on this course. So when you go onto that landing page for the first time, you've got an hour and 15 minutes to decide whether or not you want to buy the course. And if you decide not to buy the course and come back later, it's going to be $499. So I'm only interested in giving the discount to people who really want to learn this stuff. And frankly, I'm going to penalize people who have to dilly-dally, delay install. All right, so this is the first page. Let's go across. I'm going to scroll across so it doesn't get you too dizzy. And you can see all the numbers are the same all the way across. And we'll go back up here. And here are the year-end totals. So you can see under these assumptions, that I've made over on the left hand that we just looked at. By year end, you should have 3,300 people in your list. And you should be making, if you're making 40 cents per subscriber, you're going to be roughly making $1,980 per month in revenue. Now, these are models. There's no guarantee you're going to make this kind of money. The variables are how good is your audience, how good are the offers that you're presenting to the audience, and what's the economic condition at the time. Are people buying stuff like this? So those are the big, and all the only way you're going to know the answer to those questions is by experimenting, and we'll talk about that later. But you can see in this model, under these assumptions, you made a gross amount of money of $10,800.60 in your first year of operation. And you had expenses, fixed expenses, let's say. Well, these are fixed. Advertising down here, this is advertising, it's variable. But let's assume you stay with $450 per month. You have expenses of $4,950. Now, this is about right, because generally your return on investment is going to be about, on average, 50%. Sometimes you'll get it as high as 75%. But you can see here that the ratio of gross revenue to your basic expenses is a little bit more than 50%, and that's pretty normal. That's what you're looking for. For every dollar you spend, you ought to make $1 in gross profit. So that's what you're looking at here. And this model actually reflects reality, even though these numbers are totally made up. Well, they're not. These expense numbers here are all real numbers. And this is a real number if you want to do it. But if you do all of this is the possibility, conservative possibility out the gate. So you're looking for that 2-to-1 ratio, $2 of revenue, $1 of expenses. Now, in the first year, if you take all the courses that I recommend, that's going to add up to a lot of money. It's going to eat into your profit. So your total expenses, including the courses you take, are $11,805, and you end up with a 60 cents per subscriber per month revenue rate. You're going to end up at a loss of about $1,000. Now, you don't have to take these courses. And if you don't take these courses, you are going to end up with a nice little profit here, and you take this money and roll it into your ad costs for the next year, and you can grow it some more. My strong recommendation is that you take as many of these courses as you can, as soon as you can, because you're going to cut down your mistakes considerably after you learn the ins and outs of internet marketing. This is a big puzzle, huge puzzle with lots of moving parts, and the more you can learn, the faster you can get to good profitability. But if you don't take these courses, if you don't take these courses here, then you're going to make profit. But more likely than not, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and you're going to spend money foolishly. So I would invest in the $4,000 or $5,000 in courses if you can the first year, and really get educated. All right, let's go to year 2, because this is where it starts to get fun. So I'm going to swing this all the way back. And you can see down here at the bottom of the spreadsheet, I saw pro forma year 2. So let's click on it, and we have a new spreadsheet. And I'm going to increase the size of the spreadsheet like we did before so we can see it. And now we're going to just go through it like we did before. Okay, so this is year 2. Month number 1. Of year 2. This is your average cost per lead from Facebook ads, and obviously you want to keep a running average and update this number monthly. Keep track of your numbers. So under this scenario, you're getting 875 leads per month, and the reason that you're getting more leads is because you're doing something, you're adding on. First of all, you've increased your Facebook advertising to $900 per month, so you've doubled it, and you are engaged in solo ad campaigns. I'm going to explain a lot more about solo ads later on, but for right now, basically what you do when you buy a solo ads campaign is you have somebody with a huge list send out an email to their list and promoting an opt-in page so that people on that list will click on the link, go to your opt-in page where you collect an email address, and then they're on your list. So it has advantages and disadvantages, but let me just show you how it works. Typically, in a solo ads campaign, you're going to pay anywhere from 50 to 80 cents per click. This can be negotiated with the solo ads vendor, or sometimes they just charge a flat fee for this. But you should never pay more than 80 cents a click, and you should never pay less than 50 cents a click. Below 50 cents a click, garbage. Above 80 cents, you're probably getting scammed. Now, the lead conversion rate is, it represents the number of people that click on your opt-in page and actually put in their email address so that you get their number. 33% is fairly standard. If you get 40%, you're doing great. Anything above 40%, you hit a gold mine. Solo ad campaigns will vary from campaign to campaign, even with the same vendor, because you never know who are the people that the vendor is going to send the email to, and you don't know whether they're going to be responsive to your pitch or not. So I generally think 33% is a pretty good average number. You'll be able to change this as you do solo ads and you learn more about it. And we'll talk all about this later. So if you have a solo ads monthly budget of $500 and your cost per click is around 60 cents and you're experiencing a lead conversion rate of 33%, you're going to end up with about 275 leads per month on average. And your cost per lead is going to be $1.82, which is 32 cents above your Facebook lead. So one of the things that you need to think about and constantly balance is it worth doing solo ads? And there are reasons why you might do solo ads even though your cost per lead is higher. Mostly it's difficult to scale a Facebook campaign, lead generation campaign, because the larger your Facebook budget, the poorer your audience is. When you have a fairly small budget, you can be very targeted and very focused. You have to grow. You have to expand the Facebook audience considerably as you put more ads onto your campaign, more money into your campaign. That dilutes the quality of the Facebook ad, and so the quality of your leads can go down. In addition, Facebook is very difficult to work with for internet marketers. You have to really be on your game and understand exactly what the rules are, or you can go to Facebook jail and have your account closed and never do business with them again. It's tough, and you really have to know what you're doing. That's why Fred Land's course is so great, because he shows you how to do this without getting busted by Facebook. So it's always going to be a balance between your cost per lead in your solo ads and up here your cost per lead for Facebook, which if you're using Fred Land's system should be $1 or less for your leads. It's constant balancing. But you're going to be doing solo ads because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So that's one of the reasons why you'll tolerate a higher cost per lead. So here you can see that we took the leads that were from the year before and we added them in here, and then we added our 875 leads from Facebook and solo ads, and this is our cumulative. And now you can see that our leads are starting to grow month to month to month. So watch this. So, and here we're keeping our subscription rate, or our commissions per subscriber, low at 40 cents per lead, assuming that it's not a great list and you're not providing great offers. So watch what happens. We'll go over here to the end of the year with these, what I consider to be very conservative numbers. By the end of the year, you have a total of 21,000 people on your list. Isn't that phenomenal? And you're making $43,000 in gross revenues. Your monthly expenses here remain pretty much the same. You've got higher advertising costs, $16,000 in advertising costs. And I'm recommending, I'll come back and explain why I want you to take these courses in your second year. But you can see that you've made a $20,000 profit. And that's in your second year of business, 2 hours a day. And now you can see why I say you can make good money at this, and you can, but it takes time. Now, of course, this number is extremely conservative. and all these numbers are estimates based on my knowledge of how this all works. Your results will vary because all the variables that you do will vary. The most important thing is how much is it costing you to build a list, and are you building a targeted list that will convert into sales when you make offers to your list. And here I'll go through, when we get into list building, I'll give you the numbers, but essentially the reason that you've got to have these big lists is that less than 1% of your subscribers on any given email campaign are going to purchase your offer. So that's why you need a big list, because you need big numbers. And I'll go through all the numbers later, and you'll see why it is that getting a good list and building a big list quick is really important. So even here, extremely conservative and getting some more stuff here, these courses that I want you to take. You still end up with almost a $23,000+ profit for the year. Now, it's not enough to quit your job, but you could be making a lot more than that if things fall your way, and it would be difficult to be losing money on a 21,000 person list if you've built a targeted list. That should be generating, if you follow the general rubric of $1 per subscriber per month, that should be generating $21,000 a month. And that's a lot of money. And I'm only, this projection is at 40 cents per subscriber per month, not $1 a month. So in fact, let's go back and change this, because on the first year I said 60 cents. So let's just change this to 60 and watch what happens. So now we're at 60 cents per subscriber per month. And if we come across, look at how the numbers change. Now you're at $64,000, almost $65,000 here in revenue. And now your profit is at $41,000. Now you're starting to make some money. That's gonna help. That's gonna pay a mortgage or rent. And so you can see, and just to get your eyes really big, let's just suppose that you've done this all absolutely correctly and everything has gone your way, and your cost per your commissions per subscriber per month is now $1, which is the industry standard. Look at what happens. Now you've made $107,000, almost $108,000, and your profit is $84,482. This is why internet marketing is so attractive. And very few people reach these numbers because they don't understand how to do this, and they get frustrated with the overwhelm, and they get frustrated that it takes too long to make this kind of money. But at $84,000, if you're living a fairly modest lifestyle, you don't have to have a salary. Most people can live on $85,000 a year. All right, but that's pretty cool. But I'm super conservative, so I'm going to go back to my 0.4. No, we'll leave it at 0.6. Okay, so one more thing to cover here. You can see here that we don't have a domain name acquisition. I can get rid of that. But Bluehost website is going to stay the same. You're going to pay an annual fee to ThriveTheme of $249, and all of these different basically fixed costs are going to remain the same. And then on your lead acquisition, it's all the same. Now you've doubled your Facebook advertising to $900. You've added $500 in solo ads, and you can see these are variables that you can change. This is a variable. This is a variable. And when you change these variables and this variable, this number generated solo leads and cost per lead will change. So you can play around with that and watch how things change based on how much you spend in solo ads, what your cost per click is, and what your actual conversion rate is. Really worth taking time after this lesson, opening up the spreadsheet and playing around with numbers. What I recommend is that you download the spreadsheet and then save it somewhere so you don't mess with it, and then save off another copy that you can go in and just play around with the numbers. But you can always go back to the original copy. And of course, if you lose it, you can always come back to Advice and Wisdom and re-download it again. All right, I want to talk about these. What are these things down here, and why am I asking you? It says it doesn't like the link. Oh, we'll fix that later. What's important about these, and why am I asking you to spend $4,000 on these? All right. The reason is that when you spend money on these three people, you are getting access to private webinars and products and software that are not generally available to people on the internet. And that has incredible value because there's not as nearly as much competition. So, for example, with Ron Douglas, he's a mentor of mine, he has an expert classroom where he has 15 different webinars by 15 different people, 15 different products and services that you can sell to your list. Everything from how to write a book, how to make money on Amazon, how to do this, how to do that. All classes that people who are interested in various aspects of internet marketing will find useful and valuable. And you can promote those. Anthony Morrison's Ambassador Program. Morrison is one of the most prolific and profitable internet marketers out there. And when you become an Anthony Morrison ambassador, you can promote all of his courses. I think he's got something like 30 courses and 4 or 5 different kinds of software, and it's growing all the time. The only people that can promote his stuff are people who become ambassadors, and you pay $997 for the privilege. It's worth it. With Dean Holland, he's got a different program, and when we get into this, I will send you, or actually you can go on to the Advice and Wisdom website. You're probably already here, and just look for reviews, and you'll see that I have written a review for both Morrison and Holland. And basically, Holland's process is you drive leads to him, and he pays you based on what you sell. And so with a big list, you can make a lot of money with Dean Holland. So the key here is that these are 3 different places that you can go to get super high quality private webinars and income generating opportunities using your list. You got to pay to play, and that way they keep out the riffraff. But if you can afford to pay this stuff, and you should be able to by the time you get into your second year, these can turn into highly profitable opportunities for you. That's why I have them into. Of course, everything is totally optional. All right, so I think we've covered everything on the spreadsheet. The most important thing to do on this spreadsheet is to play with it. These numbers are based on averages and experience, but there is absolutely no guarantee that absolutely no guarantee that you're going to duplicate these results. And so every business is different. You can see there's so many variables involved. That's why nobody can predict or tell you what you're going to make. But the key to having this business plan is that you can predict for yourself, and you can see where you're making your mistakes. You can see, if I stay at an average cost per lead of $1.50, am I making the revenues at 60 cents per subscriber, or is it something less than that? And this tells you, this gives you a lot of information upon which you can make decisions and change up what you're doing. So that's it for this lesson, and we will move on to the next lesson planning in just a moment. So thanks, and let's go to the next lesson.